Okay, live on YouTube.
There we go.
Hello, Marlon.
Hey, good morning. I'm almost done. I'm just emailing these damn graphic designers or whatever these changes they need to make to this logo.
Cool, cool. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. And then I put that on a Google Doc. Lucky, that's what you wanted.
Whatever you feel is best.
I like the slide book because it's, but you said you wanted to be able to scroll up and down.
Sometimes I kind of like to be able to go back to things,
Mhm.
be like, oh, look how it says, so that people can, sometimes when you read the whole story, you're reading it and you have this and, you have however you feel about it. But then sometimes when you're able to point to certain sentences and be like, well, look how they felt before this happened. Like exactly how they felt before this. Look what they were saying when this was happening. And then look what they were saying when this was happening.
Yeah.
Comparing.
Well, and then I also can share that link to the chat. They can view the documents themselves.
Yeah. It's great. And the last one will kind of be.
Yeah, I put it on a second tab.
Yeah, the last one will kind of be a combination of an answer to a question from last week, put in a little bit of a different form, and the nice little finishing touch.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. People, I opened the weight room, so you don't have to allow people in.
Wonderful. Hey, good morning, Sarita. Good to see you.
Good morning. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Life has been lifing, but I'm great.
Okay. It's good to see you.
I am great.
That is wonderful. Hey, that's all that matters. That's what you're here for, the life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all works together for my good. That's what I know for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to go over that. We're going to go over that today. We are going to go over that today. You don't know how true what you said is.
Mhm.
We're going to go after it today.
Happy to see you.
Good to see you too. Let me turn this sunlight down in the back. I hope that's better. I don't know if that's better or not, but hi.
How have you been?
I've been good. I've been
Yes.
good. I've been really good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
I don't know what's going on with this sun.
You made my day.
I'm happy to be here. It's so many times I've been trying to. So I just John and I went to Tokyo We were in
Ooh.
Thailand. We went to Bangkok. So my clock was a little off. Like we just got back last week. So my clock was a little off. So when I got back, because we got back, I think Friday night. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna hop on a call. I don't know what time it was. When it happened. Did not happen. I'm hyped to be here.
And it's great.
Oh, that's awesome. How was it out there?
It was an experience. Thailand, Japan is like New York City times 20,000 because it's so many people, but it's well ran, it's so clean. The people are amazing, the food is good. We saw Hiroshima. It was an experience. He likes
Wow.
trains, so we did the bullet train. Not
Right.
I just went along for the ride, but it was a 4 hour ride. I was like,
Oh,
huh.
wow.
Yeah, from where we were to Hiroshima, there and back. But on a like, if you drove, it would have been an 8 hour drive. But then we went to
Wow.
Thailand. It was beautiful. Um,
You got some
the villa
sun.
was amazing. Everything like the only thing like you have to go to certain parts for the best beach. Um,
Okay.
but it's 10 o'clock, so I don't want to hold up. I
Well, it's good.
know he ready to cook.
That's
I'm
it.
I know he ready to
He
serve
is.
it up. So
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Happy
man.
Saturday. Happy Saturday. Good to see everyone. Little things. I don't try to. I always start on time because I always want to be an example of what I want all of us to do, right? I mean, you go to places and they're supposed to start on time. You got things to do. You got places to be. And people are sitting around and, oh, we're waiting for the numbers to go up and we're waiting for this to happen. It's like, well, what about the people who showed up on time? So then after a while, things just keep getting backed up and backed up and backed up. And then the people start thinking they can come later and later. And before it turned from 7 to 7:30, 10 to 10:30, and all the other stuff. And it's like, I don't like that for me. I don't like my time played with. I don't like that. So, I always, I don't feel like you can teach people something that you're not. And if you have a business, you don't want to open up late, right? You got a beauty salon. It's supposed to be open at 7 and it's 7:15. You're like, hey girl, with your coffee. That ain't funny. That ain't cool. Nobody want to got places to be. You know what I mean? So, all those things. That's why we roll the way we roll. Well, wonderful, but it's definitely good to see you. It's good to see everybody. Happy Saturday. All right, so we are going to start off with some reading. So if you can read, let me know if you're available to read. Okay, perfect. So we'll start off with you, Sarita, and then Karen and Monique. If you're able to, let me know or let us know, and we'll get you involved as well. But we're going to start off with a couple stories today because I always want us to remember why we're here. We're not here kind of like Sarita said when she first came on. She's been lifing. That's what we're here for. We're here to life. We're here to do something. We're not here to be here in a meditative state with our eyes closed. We're not here to just be here every weekend on this call. We're here to live. And now we come here to maybe figure out how to do it better, so to speak, right? But that's the whole point is once we learn how to do it better, we're able to live better. Some of which means we're not here sometimes. So what it is, and that's a wonderful thing. So we are going to start off with some stories today to remind us why we're here, who we are, and to get this, continue to keep going up, right? So, all right, Veronica, please put up slide number 1. All right, so I don't know if you have to, I tried to separate the paragraphs, so I don't know if you have to maybe make it bigger so it's easier to read, however you think you need to do it, so that everyone can see it, read it, and get it rolling. Because I'm not going to read it, I'm going to let you guys read it. I've obviously already read it 50,000 million, 600,000 million times. So,
How's
all
that?
right. Is that good enough?
yes.
Does it work? Okay, go for it.
Here in the audience tonight, there's a gentleman. He started a business in Chicago in March of this year. If you knew the market in the month of March, as you know it today, it was the lowest point in years. Stocks tumbled and tumbled day after day, many dropping 10 or 15 points a day. And on paper, billions and billions were lost. As far as the mind goes, they were lost. There was no market to raise money for business. He needed $250,000 to launch this business. It is a manufacturing business, manufacturing special instruments, technical. No one had any money, no individual, no group. He went through the month of March, April, and then May. He called me from Chicago to tell me he was too close to picture. He couldn't use his imagination because he was too close to it. And all the negative arguments the papers gave you, the brokers gave you, friends would give you, everything printed that financial situation gave you, looked forward to a greater and greater depression. He couldn't stop it. So I heard what he had said, what he had to say. He wanted $250,000. I said, all right, I will hear it. I will hear it. I will hear it for you. I'm sorry. I will now reserve the entire conversation from you wanting $250,000 to a conversation that tells me that you have $250,000, and I will persuade myself of this so-called invisible and therefore unreal state. When I am persuaded of the reality of what the world would say to be unreal, it's done, and it will not fail. I will do it now. So he hung up. I did not leave the phone until I was self-persuaded that he had called me and told me the good news that he had his $250,000 to launch this new venture and these special things that he is making.
Okay. Let's see. Who else wants to read?
I can read.
Okay.
Well, he is here in the room tonight, and last night he gave me a letter setting forth the highlights of the entire state. I have given you the first three. It was incorporated in the month of March. The need was $250,000. March and April went by, and in May, he didn't panic, but everyone simply turned him down. There was no such thing as a money market. Then he called me, and I've told you the exact conversation between the two of us. He is here in this city now, and in this statement he said, out of the blue, a broker called me and told me he heard of this new venture. He had investigated it, examined it, and he would like to underwrite it for $250,000, which he agreed to. As he agreed to have this company underwrite it for $250,000, friends then called and asked if they could buy $100,000 worth of shares when he had shares to sell. And to that, he agreed. So his need was $250,000, and he raised between the call in May and this day $350,000. And they say because of the market, because of this, or because of that, it can't be done. Now, the world, being a rational state, will tell you that that's irrational. It isn't sound. It doesn't make sense. I'm not telling you it makes sense, but it proves itself in performance. And if there is evidence for a thing, what you think about it or what someone else thinks about it doesn't really matter. What does it matter tonight if my friend tells his friends in Chicago that he did or what he asked of me or what I did and then what happened? They may never believe what happened or what I did. He does. That's all that matters. They may go blindly on saying, no, that would have happened anyway, Jerry. It doesn't make any difference what you now tell me and what he said he did. This is a rational world. And so the broker saw a profit for himself. He first of all heard of it. He investigated it and approved of what he found. And now he wants to underwrite it. That's a rational thing. Then friends of his with money to invest, they too investigated. Then finding what they had hoped to find, they went to put their money into something that they think is a good and solid. Therefore, be rational about it. He knows tonight. He may forget tomorrow, but he knows tonight what he did. And he knows tonight between May and July, he raised $350,000 on an entirely new venture.
All right. So the next one is a news story. All right. So that's one. All right. Who wants to read the next one?
Gavin wants to read, Coach.
Sure.
Gavin wants to read.
Sure.
Sorry. I'll turn the camera off. Sorry.
Sure.
Okay. Where are we starting?
Right there.
A
friend of mine.
Okay.
She gonna make sure I get this right. A friend of mine, my dentist, bought his home 17 years ago. It was his first home. He got it for $20,000 in the hills of Hollywood. It was a lovely home. It was once owned by Kaiser's son. In fact, I think he built it. It was very, very big, nicely constructed, not a large area, but oh, what a view. A beautiful view. He did improve it somewhat, but he put in a swimming pool and made a few structural changes, but he didn't spend in excesses of $10,000 in the 17 years that he lived there, making certain changes. That meant he had a home of $30,000. Then he came the present moment that he wanted to unload it. But like all people, they read the papers and make concepts of what a thing is valued at. He paid 20 and spent 10, but he lived there, and naturally he paid taxes and these things, but he didn't have rent to pay. So he began to put more and more value on the houses, and he finally got it to $75,000. That's what he wanted it for.
Okay. Sparkle Bailey, you can read the next one.
Then he spoke to me about it. I said, I haven't the slightest concept of the value of a home. The only home that I have called my home was really my mother's home. I left home when I was 17 and a half. It was the only home I've ever really felt was home. For I've only rented since then. I have rented apartments, rented homes, but they have never been my home. So I have no concept of the value of these homes. You are asking $75,000 for it. Well, for one, for one solid year, he gave it up to this party, to that party, to the other party. They all showed it, but no one came up for anything near $75,000. I said to him one day at the pool, "Do you really want to sell it?" He said, "Deep down in my heart, no. It has been a lovely home." I said, "Do you sleep in it every night?" "I know you do physically, but do you sleep elsewhere in your imagination and view this home from that assumed state?" "Well, if you had sold it, you couldn't sleep in it, would you?"
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. You would. Excuse me. You would. If you hadn't sold it, you wouldn't. You couldn't sleep in it. You would. And then whatever's next.
Okay. Who else to read? Is there some?
That's it after that, ain't it?
Oh, go down. Is that it? Oh, is that me? Oh, the internet went out.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Okay.
well, you still live. I can hear you.
Okay. So, all right. Well, I'll just finish. I'll just finish it off. So basically, what ended up happening was, the guy. So he asked him a couple questions. One, do you want to sell it? You realize the guy didn't really want to sell it. Sometimes we're in situations that we would like to change, but we don't actually want them to change as quick as we think we do, right? Sometimes we're not really ready for what we want. We know what we want, we're not really ready for it for one reason or another. So we may be putting in effort to do something, but that's why I asked him, because you start to realize that when you understand how the mind works, you start to realize that you can have two things going at once, what you would like to happen, but aren't necessarily really ready for yet. So you may be putting in the effort for what you would like to happen, but you wonder why it's actually not happening. Well, because you're not actually really ready. That's why I asked him, and he said, well, no, honestly, if I were to be honest, I'm not really ready yet. So he said, okay. So he started asking not physically where you are, but mentally where you are. Because when you understand how to think, you understand that every physical thing you see was first a thought. So even though you may be physically doing something, if you're not occupying the thought of your desired end of that house being sold, or of making the $250,000 that you need, or raising it, or whatever else it is, it doesn't really matter what physical thing you do, because your physical actions are driven by your awareness. They're driven by what's going on in your mind, right? What you're telling yourself is true. So when you have, in the first story, when you start a business, people tell you to start a business. So he started a business, but then it was a bad time to start a business because it was a recession or a depression. So you started in March, nothing's happening in April, nothing's happening in, well, March, April, now you're into May. So you're thinking, I'm doing everything I can, I'm asking everybody, but the market's bad, the economy's bad, so everyone's telling you no, right? And so you have to decide or understand. This is actually what the word science comes from. So science means to know. It actually is very close to the word decision. It means to cut or separate. It means to know something enough where you can cut or separate the truth from the untruth, right? That is what science actually literally means. Conscience, conscience with science, means a state of knowing. So you may have a science, you may know something about one thing, but you may not be in the state of knowledge about everything or about the whole thing. So saying that to say, when you always have two choices. You have, or two levels of awareness. You have where you are now and what you would like to be next, or what you would like to happen next. You're only in one or the other. You may be aware of both. So imagine yourself standing at the fork in a road, right? Or at the end of a road, and you can go right or left. From this place, you can see both directions, but you can only go in one or the other. You can't be in both. So what you saw from the gentleman trying to sell his home, from his dentist trying to sell his home, was that he was in one thing, aware of another, but he could only be in the one he was in. And he was occupying the person or the awareness of not sold. So even though he physically had realtors, like you said, for a year, selling it, trying to sell it, nothing happened because he actually didn't want that to happen. Even though he was physically going about it, his awareness was, well, I'm not really sure. I don't really want to. It's a lovely home. So in mind, he wasn't really ready for that to happen. Therefore, in reality, what humanity calls reality, which is nothing but the physical reflection of reality, which is what's going on in here, right? Because in here, it was a no. It doesn't matter what you do here, because here is only used to execute what's going on in here. So when we are telling ourselves no here, all we're doing then to try to get a yes out of here is we're just, as they say, beating a dead horse. We're literally becoming weary and well-doing. We're wearing ourselves out because we're trying to physically experience something that we are not consciously aware of being. So we are fighting against the laws of nature, so to speak, right? It's like putting in an orange seed into the ground, waiting for a watermelon. Thinking if you water it enough, or if you're a good person, or if you have morals and ethics, if you have values, if you point to all the physical things you do, I'm a good person. That has nothing to do with that being an orange seed. That is a thought that produces this. There are thoughts that produce things. Every physical thing you see was first a thought. So an outcome is a physical experience that you want to have, right? That's what success means. It means outcome. It means the end result of something. That's what the word success means. It's really two words, but it's a compound word, but it basically means to go next, to go from here, from one thing to the next. And that next thing you go to is your desired end. Saying all that to say, at the end of the story, a guy comes out of nowhere and buys the house for $75,000. It was sold within a month. And the guy had about 30 days to get out. And he went to La Brea, which is down here. I'm in Northern California now, but it's down in Southern California where I'm from. And it's not too far from Hollywood Hills, probably about 15 minutes. But anyway, saying all that to say, it got sold quickly. As soon as in his mind he let that house go, that's why he asked him, do you really want to sell the house? He knew the house wasn't selling. It was really a rhetorical question for him because he knew. The guy who he was speaking to, his dentist, didn't know that because he didn't understand how the laws of mind work. He doesn't understand how your brain functions, right? Your mind will give your awareness gives your human mind ideas, and your human mind uses those to say yes or no. And if it's saying no, then there's nothing you can do with your physical body that's going to make it a yes. it doesn't matter how much effort, how much physical exertion or effort you put into it, because you are fighting against what your awareness of being is, right? So that's why he asked him that question. It was rhetorical for him, but he's really asking that question to get him to become aware of what's actually happening. Once he was able to do that and then decided one day, yes, I want to sell it, it was sold within a month. So giving you these examples to say how somebody raised basically $250,000, $350,000, and by the time he asked and got it, it was about a month and a half. In the same market, the market wasn't better. There was no upturn all of a sudden. The guy who offered him to underwrite it was not someone he knew. His friends all of a sudden asked, well, since this thing is going now, can we buy 100,000 worth of shares? So it went from 250 from the underwriter to 350 with the insurance. I mean, with the friends who wanted the stocks. So saying that to say this, that is why we're here. We are here to have an understanding of how to think in order to live the life in physical expression you want to live. Life is lived here. It's expressed here. Your physical body is nothing but the expression. Your physical body, meaning represents your physical world. Everything physical is nothing but the reflection of the external reflection of the internal reality. This is creation. Creation is in here, right? Cause is in here. Created, the effect is out here. Your body, the physical world. So this is nothing but the reflection of actually what's going on. This is reality. What humanity calls reality is because it's the first time it sees it. The first time humanity sees something is when it calls it reality. But your awareness calls it reality once it has the idea, once it has the concept to let there be, to say, oh, I want to sell, or oh, I want a business. That is reality, because that is the seed that creates the tree or the fruit. So you can't say the tree or the fruit is more real than the seed that produced it, right? The seed that produced it is the reality. That is the thing that you're using to have the physical expression that you want. So just while I'm remembering, the stories are going to be put in the chat, so you can take them and copy them.
Get in the chat. I'm back.
Okay, so that you guys can take them and put them, read them yourself, go over them and over and over them, because the more you read them, the more you'll really see how things go. I put them in there because I want you to see, what is a person thinking when they first start? Where are they starting from? What situation is going on? Where are they, right? What's happening on the inside, so that you get a better understanding of why it's happening outside. What is happening in here is why it's happening out there. The why is a reflection of the what. The effect is the reflection of the cause. There's only one cause, just like there's only one effect, right? Meaning the effect is only a reflection of the cause, right? So I put that in there so you guys can read it and over and over and over and over, and really get an understanding of how to have or be or do anything in your life. It is not complicated, and it's not really hard. It's not hard, but it seems complicated and feels hard because we have been traditionally trained the other way, right? I'll believe it when I see it, but you never get to see anything you don't first believe. It doesn't work that way. That's like saying I'll believe a building is there before I have the idea or build it, or everything goes in those steps, right? There's an order to everything. So I wanted to start off with those stories because that is why we're here. We're here to learn how to. You may want better health. You may want more money. You may want a relationship or a better one. You may want a business. You may want 1,000 different things. That's why you're here. You're here to have physical experiences. You're not here necessarily to be on a mountain with your eyes closed all day. You can do anything you want to do, but you're not here to hide from the world. You're not here to be some kind of holy roller. And that's not why you're here. You're here. It's like going to Disneyland. You're not here to be a good person, so to speak. That's not really why you're here. Yeah, you want to be. That's good for humanity, but you're here to have all the experiences of your heart, your desires. You're not here to numb them down, dumb them down, try to modify them to make it good for the world. No, you're here to live the desires of your heart, because that's why they're there. And they're there because they are already reality. They're just not a reality you're experiencing, because that is not who you're being in here, inward, right? All these things exist. That person who, the underwriter, existed. The friends that had the money, they existed. In the other story, the person who bought the house, they existed. All these things already exist, but they are unseen to the version of yourself that is not willing to sell the house yet, or doesn't see themselves as successful yet. Desiring to be and seeing yourself as are not the same thing. They're not synonymous. We have a lot of desires. We can desire to go get something to eat. We will be hungry until that desire and right impels us to action, right, or prompts us to action. But that action that we take is based on the thought that we're having. So all action is governed by awareness, all of it. There's nothing you are doing with your physical body in this physical world that is not being driven by a thought or by thoughts, a collection of them or one of them. So if you are thinking I'm broke, if you're thinking I can't make it, if you're thinking it's too hard, if you're thinking the economy's bad, if you're thinking it's the wrong time, you are free to think whatever you want, but that's the only freedom you have. You are free to think. That is where your free will exists, is in your thought processes. What am I willing to tell myself is true? Whatever that is will be. Whatever you are not willing to tell yourself will not be, because you are the governing body. You are the being that gets to choose what your experience is like and what it's going to be like. You are essentially the magician. You are essentially predicting your future based on whatever it is you're telling yourself. That is the seed. You are using thoughts. You are using your awareness to say, what am I? What am I not? Who am I? Who am I not? What do I have? What do I not? Whatever you have in physical expression from your body on out in the physical world, whatever you possess is a physical replica of what you are possessing here, what you have here. There's nothing you have here that you didn't first have here. No exemptions, no exceptions, no anything else. And at the end of the class, I have a little paragraph to read to you all so that you can, you know what? No, let me do it now. Veronica, if you're back up, can you pull that second slide up? Because this is for is this the second one? The second slide. Not the second story, but the second slide. This one is to answer a question from last week, as well as to prove to you something. I was talking to my mom about 2 weeks ago, and somehow we were talking about Kobe Bryant, and I said, yeah, if you ever listen to Tracy McGrady, a basketball player, they both came out of high school around the same year. I think Tracy McGrady is a year after. So they hung out because back in that day, there weren't obviously too many high school players going to the NBA. So they hung out because they were in the same age group. Anyway, when Kobe Bryant passed, one of the things that Tracy McGrady said that was surprising to so many people was he said, Kobe always told me he was going to die young. He always said he was going to do everything early, everything young, and that that was going to be it for him. Well, let's see here. Who wants to read this? Who wants to read this paragraph? Because I'm using this to impress a point, and then I'll move on. Who wants? Actually, Sparkle Bailey, if you're there, I want you to read this one because this goes to the question you asked last week about the car accident and all the other stuff.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Unfortunately, let me zoom in a little bit. Unfortunately, we are not aware of the moment of the planting of the seed. And when the harvest appears, we deny our own harvest. Recently, I read an interview with Mrs. Martin Luther King, the widow of the great evangelist, and she said the day that the late President Kennedy was assassinated, my husband turned to me and said, "That is the way I am going to die. I too will be assassinated." He was a powerfully emotional being. He identified himself with that martyrdom. Whether he wanted to be a martyr for his own cause or not, I do not know. But her own words, my husband said to me when he heard of the story of the assassination of Kennedy, "That's the way I'm going to be killed. I am going out just like that." Now you tell that man, excuse me, y'all. Now you tell that man that he did it. And I'm sorry, y'all, because my eyes are like, my bad. Thank you, love. I appreciate you. Shout out to Vero. Now you tell that man that he did it. And the one who now serves 99 years was only the means by which his will was externalized. He would not believe it. There's always somebody ready, waiting to aid the externalization of my will. And my will is a simple, imaginal act. That's all. And then if you can be used, if you are not in that state that you can be used, you will not be used against your will. But there are those who are falling into all kinds of states in this world. There are those who feel at home being a thief. Well, if I feel that I have lost something, the states occupied by men who believe themselves to be thieves, they will fulfill my will for me. If I feel that I am insecure, there are those in the world who will play their part and aid in the birth of my feeling that I am insecure. It's entirely up to us. What are we doing? Unfortunately, we are not aware of the moment of the planting of the seed, and when the harvest appears, we deny our own harvest.
So when you asked me last week, well, what if there's a person who was drunk driving and who was doing this or doing that? And remember, my response to you was, hey, there's always somebody who's willing to aid your consciousness, what you are believing to be true of yourself. When we believe ourselves to be able to be harmed or disrespected or mistreated or unloved, when we believe ourselves to be unsuccessful or unhappy or unhealthy, when we believe whatever we believe ourselves to be, right? Our body, like I said, the physical world then arranges itself to prove that to be true. It may use your body, it may use another person's body, but it will find whatever is necessary to prove that to be true, because that is what your awareness is for. That's what it's for. It's there to prove you right. So what you tell yourself is true is true. That's why I say it's not about positive thinking. There's no such thing as positive thinking. It's like positive driving or negative driving. There's no such thing. The outcome of your driving you may call positive or negative. If you ran into a tree, you probably call it negative. If you got where you're going, you probably call it positive. But it is still just what it is. It is just driving. So it is still what it is. It is just thinking. But according to your thinking, how you're thinking, what you're thinking, that is what people call manifesting. You are only manifesting yourself, meaning you are only physically expressing what you are aware of being here. Most of us don't realize what we're really thinking in here, because if you start from 0 to 7, right, when Dr. Bruce Lipton or any scientist will tell you, especially psychologists and things like that, will tell you from 0 to 7, it's like having a new phone. Everything is programmed in there. It doesn't have its own thing, right? But then after you get enough numbers in there, then you have context, you can redial, but it's only redoing what you put in, right? So 0 to 7, that's like a young person. 7 to about 14 is when they start figuring out their own ideas of the world and concepts and their own things. So then you have 0 to 7 and 0 to 14. So you have 7, all you telling them what to do, 7 to 14, then figure it out. And then when you get to 14, then people get what you call a teenager, so to speak, right? And so then you're thinking, well, why are they going against what I'm saying? Well, it's not necessarily, it's just some of what you said, some of what they think, and now they're trying to figure out how to blend those two things. Which one is right, which one is wrong, which one is good for me, which one is bad for me, which one works for me, which one doesn't, which one can I handle, which one can I not, based on my experiences as well. Your experiences, you call wisdom, that's 0 to 7. Their experience, they call literal experience, that is their wisdom, 7 to 14. And now you have a confluence or combination of both. So that is what you're getting in a human at that age, is you and them, and then blending that together and then trying to figure out how to make that into one thing, right? But the reason we're talking about all this is because we're usually not aware. We're usually unaware of what's going on in here. So when we look at the outside world, we can't make heads or tails of it. We can't figure out why something is not working. And sometimes when it is working, we're just glad it's working and we don't care how, we don't even really know how. It's just working. I'll take it. I won the lotto. I'll take it, right? I had a good day. I'll take it. But the reason we're here is because every day can be. Every day is whatever you believe it to be. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. So when you wake up, most people wake up and say, let's see how it goes. Or let's see how, I hope it does this. We'll see what happens, instead of waking up and declaring what happens. This is the day that you have made to rejoice and be glad in. Or this is what's going to happen for me today. This is how things are going to go for me today, because you understand how this works, right? But since most of us don't, we are unconscious victims, meaning we're just going and hoping it works out. And when it does, great. When it doesn't, then we're looking for blame, or we feel guilt or shame or all these other things. But it's because we're just being blown with the wind. We're hoping it works out, but we're not actually making any conscious choices of how we want things to go, how we want things to be, and assuming that that's the case. We want things, we would like things, but that's not who we really see ourselves as being. We are a being that wants, but we're not the being who has. And the laws of mind require anything for you to physically express from your body on out are because of what you're being, not what you're wanting. What you're being. Who are you telling yourself you are? what are you assuming this is going to be? Are you assuming people hate you, like you? Or is your business hard? Do you have one? Is it easy? What about money? What about health? In every area of your life, you have an assumption. You have a belief about that thing. And if you look at your life, it's showing you what it is. Whether it's your money, your health, your relationships, whatever else it is, you are seeing in physical form and reflection what's going on in here. So at that last slide is why I wanted to read that, because, oh, why do bad things happen to good people? Well, good is only being judged externally. We don't know what people are thinking on the inside. We have no idea what's going on in their mind. And that's what I was saying last week. So I wanted to pull that up so you can see that people, what we call good people, that is just external observation, but that's not internal insight. And inside is what creates outside, right? So everything that you see in the outside world is nothing but a result of a thought or a thinking, right? So you see something happen to someone, you're like, wow, they're such a good person. Why'd that happen? Well, that slide is an example of how and why things happen. When I first read that, I wasn't aware of that. I hadn't heard anybody who had ever told me that. But like I always tell you, when you research things, you'll find things that just hearing, meaning people telling you something, you'll never find, because somebody says something and everybody just says that same version of that. There's never any depth into that or any insight into that, because if you don't research, you don't find the depth and the trueness of things usually. So saying that to say,
Monique has her hand up, by
Yeah.
the way. Okay.
so all those things, right? So I'll go to her. Monique.
Good morning, family. I just had an aha moment, and I just wanted to share. Since the beginning of September, I have an after school program, and all of my children are 4. And all September, I've been saying, "Oh my God, 4-year-olds are a lot. 4-year-olds are a lot." And every day, they show me that they are what I'm saying they are. And yesterday, Mr. Logan gave me the business of every 4-year-old I've ever seen in my life. So I just had that, like I keep saying that, 4-year-olds are a lot. I don't know if I want to do 4-year-olds, 4-year-olds. But if I keep saying that, they have no choice but to show up as how I'm telling them to show up. I was just like, oh my God, I did that. So I just wanted to share that.
You know how when you're a parent, when you're a person, you're a person. But then when you become a parent, you're still a person, but you're a parent. And you know how some of the language you would use as a person, you don't use as a parent, right? Because you realize there's a responsibility now that you don't want your child or your children or young people especially, or if you're around your parents, or if you just change your language a little bit based on your awareness, right? On where you are, who you're talking to, things like that, right? Well, just think about it like that. You are the parent of your life. What you say matters because you're the parent. And if you don't want life mirroring what it is you're saying, if you don't want your child saying, oh, well, God, if you don't want that, you learn very quickly as a parent, don't say things, because your children repeat it because that's what they do at a young age. That's what they do. Well, you are always the parent of your life, and your physical world is nothing but the repeating or the reflecting of what you're saying. It's literal. That's why I say it's not positive thinking. It is positive thinking is the thinking process that you use in your favor. I am going to think this way about this thing. And I know that if I think this way and I continue to think that way, in spite of what I see or hear or feel, that it will prove itself to be true, because that's the way it works, right? But we have so many beliefs that we're not even aware of that, like you said, oh, 4-year-olds are a lot, or oh, Fridays are always hard for me, or oh, it's flu season, or oh, I shouldn't have opened a business this time because, or oh, I can never find the right accountant, or the right this, or the right that. We don't realize that we're talking to our child. We're repeating, and if you think about it, if you said, so you wouldn't say certain things around a child. If you say, I can't find an accountant. You're saying I can't find that. You're saying 4-year-olds are a lot. All right. I'm going to say it this way. What do you think? What do you think you're doing right now?
I'm
Praying.
asking, somebody said praying.
Declaring.
Speaking into existence.
Yes, but that's why I read the stories, and that's why I teach the class this way, because I want you to know. What does this mean on Tuesday? What does this mean on the street? What does this mean when you're in your business sitting at work? What does this mean when you're sitting in traffic? What are you doing to yourself? What are you doing?
You're
That's what I'm
establishing the
asking
state
for.
you own.
Okay, so you're asking for, Karen, what'd you say?
I said you are establishing the state that you are in. You are saying
No.
just
No, I'm gonna tell you exactly what you're doing, is I want you to understand what it is you're doing. And yes, all that sounds nice, but that's not why we're here. We're not here to be nice. I want you to say it. I want you to think about it in the literal way you're doing. You are literally, I'm gonna say it, cussing yourself out. You are literally cursing yourself. You're literally cussing yourself out. You're literally talking to yourself in a way that you don't want and that you don't like, that isn't helpful, and all you're doing is making it worse. This is cussing yourself out. That's what I'm using it so that I want you to understand really what it is. When somebody says, if we were to use cursing yourself out or cussing yourself out, if somebody were cursing you out, you wouldn't like it. If somebody you were cursing you out, you'd be ready to fight. If somebody were cursing yourself out, you feel disrespected. But you feel no form of disrespect to tell yourself what you can't do. You feel no disrespect to say, to relegate yourself to 4-year-olds or a lot, and that's before work started. How do you think it's going to go for you?
They didn't even do nothing. They're not here yet.
But you've already set the table. So that means, that's why I said, you are cursing yourself. You're doing this to yourself. You are cursing, you are cussing yourself out. You are talking to yourself in a way that's disrespectful, but you don't see it that way. You don't, because you don't see you that way. So I say, this is not positive thinking, and this is not a self-esteem camp, but yourself has an esteem. The self of you has an esteem. The self of you has a value that it has attached to it. I do that. I don't do that. I can afford it. I can't afford it. I can find. I can't find. Based on who you think you are, you make these statements. So the statements that you make externally come from the internal identity you are in possession of, what you are believing yourself to be. You're literally cussing yourself out. You're cursing yourself out. This is what you're doing. I'm putting it in, obviously, exaggerative terms, but I want you to really understand the gravity, the magnitude of what's happening. And you don't understand it because we didn't have to have a license to run our mouth. We didn't have to get a license to think. We didn't have to get a license to do anything. So we've just been doing these things without reading the manual, without really understanding who we are and how this works. So you're literally cursing yourself out. I can't find this. I can't find a social media person. I can't afford it. I can't start a business because, now's not a good time. Well, if for all of these things, who is saying that?
I am.
So that is singular. So if you make all of that effort as a singular being to say I am, meaning I am, I can't, I, then why do you make all that effort to say it if it didn't matter? Why would you make the effort to say that? Does it matter or not?
It does matter.
So then, if it matters, doesn't it matter enough to do it right? If your kids come home with homework, and Marlon, your boys come home with homework, and you're like, yeah, did you do your homework? And they're like, yeah. And they're out in the front playing. And they're like, yeah. And then you go look at their homework, and you just see this thing. And you're like, man, what is that? And you're like, oh yeah, it's done. You'd be like, man, I said you do your homework. Yeah, I did it. Well, what is that? I don't know, but I did it. Would you go for that?
That's not acceptable.
That's not acceptable. Well, what is this acceptable? How is that acceptable? 4-year-olds are a lot. How is that acceptable? I did it. Well, I was just talking, but wait a minute. If it is important enough to say, it's important enough to say correctly. If it's important enough to do, it's important enough to do correctly. You can't say it's so important that I have to say it, but I didn't really mean it. Yeah, you did mean it. You meant it. That's why you made every effort to say it. Yeah, you did mean to do that. That was all you were going to do. And somebody wiser than you, Marlon said, little Marlon, absolutely not. That's not acceptable. Somebody has to be the parent. Well, I is singular. You're on your own. You're by yourself. So then who has to be the parent of what you say?
I am.
Who has to be the parent of what you say?
Me.
Yes. Who has to be the parent of what you do?
Me.
Real? Are you sure? Are we sure? Because it's so funny. You guys can all, listen, you know what? I'm not even gonna make you do it. I'm not even gonna make you do it. You can just silently agree. Me, I'm the one that has to do it, right? Well, has anybody ever heard the word they? Anybody ever heard that?
Yeah.
Anybody who use that? Anybody ever heard the word we? Anybody ever heard that?
Yep.
Anybody ever heard the word them? Anybody ever heard that?
Yes, all of that.
Oh, so we went from I am singular, I singular, to they, we, them, 4-year-olds, or a lot. I can't find an accountant. I can't find a social media person. So I went from I singular to accountant, they, or them, or whatever, something outside of yourself.
Wow.
But Marlon said to little Marlon, that's not acceptable. I don't really care what you thought you did. Yeah, that's not acceptable. You're going to come back and do, then I'm going to give you my thought on how this works. You're going to do it like this now. Somebody has to be the adult. Somebody has to grow up. Somebody has to be mature. You are the parent of your life. You are. If you want to do it well, if you want to actually be in control of it. Now, you can be asleep in a car. Whatever happens, happens. You fall asleep, you unfortunately run into something or someone, you're still at fault or you're still responsible, right?
Yeah.
I didn't mean it. What does that mean?
Nothing.
What does that mean? I was on my way to church. What does that mean?
Nothing.
What does that mean? So guess what? Your life is the same way. If you fall asleep because you don't know who you are or how this works, then all the things that come with you being asleep apply. I don't expect you guys to necessarily see it. I'm just writing what I'm talking. All the things that happen when you're asleep, they still apply. So if they apply when you're asleep, then you should wake up.
Is that ignorance of the law is no excuse?
Correct. Because the law is, if you get behind the wheel, you're responsible for everything that happens because you're there from your end, right?
Yeah.
Well, in your body, you're behind the wheel. You are behind the wheel. I mean, when you got up and sat down, who was driving that? Right? When you turn the radio up and turn it down, who turned it up and turned it down?
You.
You turned your voice up or turned it down. Who did that? You're behind the wheel. You are responsible. Now, responsibility means responsibility. It means you are the person that is in charge. It does not mean guilt or shame, regret, fear. It doesn't mean all the other things that people try to attach to it. That's not what responsibility means. It means understanding where your power is or where it isn't. If you have it or if you don't, how much you have or how much you don't, when you have it or when you don't. That's what responsibility means. It doesn't mean all the other stuff that people try to attach to it, to try to control what you do. Oh, well, if you love me, you would. That ain't responsibility. Oh, well, you should feel bad because that's not responsibility. Oh, well, if you, that's all vote no. Responsibility is, do I have authority or not? To do something or not? And whatever you have the authority to do as a responsibility, then you have accountability. You are now responsible for your responsibility. That's accountability. You are now responsible for that which you did. That is accountability, that you had the authority to do. You are now responsible for that authority that you wielded. That is called accountability. But how can people take accountability if they don't actually feel any responsibility, right? As I've said before, response ability. Ability to respond. That is an ability. That's an ability. And if you want to be good at it, you turn an ability into a what?
A skill set?
A skill or a skill set. So to be responsible is a what?
It's a skill.
It's a skill. How many people in life do you know are skilled at anything? Where you look at them and you like, yeah, they that. How many people do you know like that?
Not many.
That's why I always tell people, it doesn't matter what you want to do as a profession. You can make money at it. I don't care if you want to be a professional trash picker upper. I don't care what you think you can imagine in your mind. If you are good at it, you will always be compensated for it, because what? The level of skill in humanity for most people is almost non-existent. Most people actually aren't skilled. Most people actually don't have any mastery of what they do. They don't have any mastery. Where when you look at them, there's no doubt in your mind that whatever it is they do or they're doing, they are that. They may not be anything else and anything else, but in that, they are that. Most people, most of us don't know, most people don't know anyone like that. Very few. Responsibility is a skill. So if you don't have the skill of being responsible, how do you think you're going to be accountable? So why do you think when you say, hey, Marlon, why didn't you do your homework properly? And he's like, how do you hold him accountable if he's not responsible? So the first thing you have to do is develop the ability into a skill. So we give them chores, right? Or we tell them to do their homework before, which we are conditioning the awareness of their ability to turn it into a skill, something that they can do without us, unfailingly, correctly. That's when it becomes a skill. When our kids learn how to ride bikes, we know they're not good at it, right? So we're holding the back, holding the front, holding the side, the front, the back, and the side, because we know they don't have the skill. But we would have never put them on there if they didn't have the ability. We'd have never put them on there. All of us have the ability, but most of us have not done it enough to make it a skill. Mm-hmm. And that is why you see very little to no mastery in life. Very few people in the world have a mastery of anything. So when people are talking about, oh, there is a market saturation. No, there's not. How could there be if there's not that many people that are like that?
I know you can't see the chat, but Monique said there's a lady on her IG that, which is Instagram, because I know you don't really do social media, that teaches people how to choreograph dance with their dogs, mm-hmm. and people love her. That's amazing. That's wild.
Well, watch this. Why do people love her?
Because she loves herself.
And because she loves herself, then what?
They have to show her what she's saying about herself.
That is correct. And how do you know what she's saying about herself?
Because she has the courage to teach people how to dance with their dogs.
She is putting herself into what she's doing. And you're on the other side. So you don't know her. You just know what she's doing. So from the other side, you love what she's doing. She loves what she's doing, so she's doing it. She's over here, I love me, and I love what I'm doing. I'm going to put the love of myself into this thing. The love of myself goes into this thing. So now when you're on the other side and you see this thing, you see what I am putting into it. So when I'm cooking something, it's almost like you're smelling it. That's why you can make money at anything because it's all about who you're being. And like I said, most people, I was telling Veronica yesterday, most people aren't entrepreneurs, and most people, even the ones that are not, don't have any level of mastery. That's why people always talk about market saturation. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Patrick Mahomes cares about how many other quarterbacks are in the NFL? Do you think he's like, man, there's so many, I may not get paid? Do you think that happens? Do you think LeBron James cares how many people are in the NBA? There's so many, I may not get paid? Do you think that happens?
Not at all.
Jeff Bezos at Amazon cares about how many businesses are opened up every year? Do you think that happens?
Not at all.
So then what is the difference between them and you? Why is it saturated for you but not saturated for them?
Because they're more self-aware.
So then their business isn't some kind of thing that's so great that you can't rival it, so to speak. No, it's because of who they are. But we try to make who you are, we try to turn that into a human, moral, or ethical thing. Oh, that's a bad person. I don't know why they're rich. Because the law doesn't care about what you care about. You could be a serial killer. If you turn on a light switch and you pay the bill, what's going to happen in your house?
Lights.
Light gonna come on.
The light gonna come on, because guess what? The law, electricity doesn't care. That's the law. Electricity doesn't care. It means it works the same for everyone. What we call laws are really, for the most part, rules. How many laws in America are there January 1st, and the next January there's a whole nother set of laws?
Yeah.
Has electricity changed?
No.
Because it is a what?
Law.
Law.
Nothing but the price.
That's it. That's it. All they do is, to Marlon's point, they change how much it costs for you to get access to the law. But it works the same way for everybody. If you have an electric car and you want to put a charging thing in your house, what do you think you have to do?
Call an electrician.
To do what?
To install the charger.
And what else? What else do you use?
Oh, to give you access to the power to charge the car.
Right. Well, you already have access to power, but what are you really saying?
Let there be.
You're increasing the power because the house is not built generally to charge a car. So you're going to upgrade your voltage, right? Yeah. Well, if you want to upgrade your life, you have to upgrade your voltage. You have to upgrade your thought processing, your thought processor. You have
capacity.
Your capacity. Otherwise, you're going to have a little 75-volt outlet, and it's going to charge 1 mile a day.
Yeah, or you keep popping the breaker.
Keep popping the. What do you think stress is? You didn't pop the breaker.
I see what you did with that.
Yeah, that's it. You pop it. That is why we're here, because I want us to see how it applies to every day. To every day. When I say you're cursing yourself out, I want you to understand what you're doing to yourself. I want you to understand what you're saying is just not, I'm just talking. Oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, it's not that serious. Yeah, it's not that serious to someone who isn't serious, and you don't know you're serious. You don't know who you are. You just think you're who everyone else tells you are. What everyone else tells you can do. You're literally living your life on everyone else's terms. Yes, you are popping the breaker. That's what stress is. That's what anxiety is. That's what doubt is going to cause. Doubt is just heating up the breaker to pop. It's only going to be a matter of time. That's what fear is. You're literally trying to access a level that you are not functioning at. So you want a better business, but what are you telling yourself? I can't find, I don't know if this is going to work. It really usually never works. Well, women can't really do that. Well, men can't do that. Well, this can't be that. Well, I'm a Democrat. Well, I'm a that. I'm a this. We literally set up all these rules. We set up all, and then we are literally governed by the rules we set up. You set up your own prison. You don't realize that you literally set up your own prison, and you are your own warden. You literally done beat yourself with 4-year-olds. You done beat the hell out of yourself before you even got to work. You're setting up, you were literally setting up all your own circumstances. That's why I had us read the last slide. Martin Luther King's wife said, he said, that's going to happen to me. Kobe said, that's going to happen to me. The law is no respecter of persons. You got completely different generations. Same thing, same thing. They were using electricity in 1900. They're using it now. We're getting the same thing called light. Now we're able to expand how quickly we can put it up and all the other stuff, because as we grow in skill, we're able to be more able. We're able to respond more and put up more of what we like, want, or need. But you're popping breakers. You over here putting yourself in all kind of blackouts. You got your fuses smoking. You got everything happening because you're literally trying to now power something else in your limited state. There's never a time you can't start. So if you have an idea, if you have a desire for something, that means it's available to you. And all you have to do is be willing to say, okay, I am that. Identify yourself as that. I have a successful business. I have a great relationship. I have with whatever. I have perfect health. I have whatever else it is. That's the same thing as 250,000. It's all the same. It looks different. What you're doing it for is different, but how it works is the same. 2 + 2 is what?
4.
Where?
Cuatro.
Where?
Where?
Everywhere.
Okay. Why?
Because
That's the law.
Because it's a law. So you read the guy with $250,000 who had nothing and was going to stay with nothing, but then he called somebody and said, hey man, I need you to help me do what? What did the guy he called do different than what he was doing?
Act as if it already happened.
And how was that represented?
Imagination, visualization.
Oh, okay. What? Okay. Of what?
Of what he wanted to be true.
So then what was he doing before that? The other guy.
He was letting whatever what was going on in the world with the stock, with all the things that was happening, infiltrate his mind. So he was thinking all the things, and he kind of got in bed with that
he was doing the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
He was imagining and visualizing all the things he didn't want to be true. So he called somebody who could imagine and visualize the things he wanted to be true. So what was the difference between the two people?
Their thought.
Awareness of their thoughts. One knew the beginning and the end. So internally, he was there at the end of what he desired, and let the middle take care of the middle.
Right. So it's just a different thought. One person has this set of thoughts that they're thinking, imagining, visualizing, believing to be true, and this is what you get. They realize that's never going to change. It's March, it's April, we're into May now. So now I got to do something different. Otherwise, this is never going to change. You have to do something different. But you think doing something different is getting another job. That's what you think it is. That's the first thing you do. That's the first thing people will tell you to do. The first thing people tell you to do is go to counseling. First thing people will tell you, they will tell you every physical thing, but the physical thing people tell you're experiencing an effect. And the first thing people will tell you to do is try to solve an effect with another effect. Nobody is telling you to actually, okay, this effect you don't like. Okay, I'm not going to use another effect. I'm going to use the cause to now create another effect. That effect is not going to change because that effect is based on the cause. So if you change the way you think, you can't get that effect. So you didn't change that effect, you just stopped going that way. You have a new cause, which now creates a new effect. Every effect is for that. Every effect is the effect of a cause. Every outcome is the effect of a thought. So you don't change the outcome. That outcome is for that thought. So if you change your thought, you get a new outcome. You don't get, when you're not changing a person, you're changing, you're getting a different version of that person. When there's someone you don't like at work, and you're like, man, this person always gets on my nerves. They're always hating on me. They're always this, or somebody you don't like at work, somebody you don't like at school, somebody you don't like in your neighborhood, somebody you don't like. Who doesn't like them? Who is that?
Me.
Okay, so then that you is getting access to that person, to them. So you don't like that. So then what should you do?
Change it.
Change what? What is it? Change what?
The thought.
What? Okay. So then what, who is, how much is them? And a dollar amount. How much is them?
It's like what would you call it? You'd say it's overall, it's outside.
0.
Them is 250,000.
Oh, let's do it.
It's all the same thing. 250,000, them, money, health, your business. These are all the same thing. What do all these have in common? What do all those have in common?
Roadblocks that we tell ourselves.
Right? Things you want to change.
Hmm.
But who is the one experiencing all these things?
I
I
am.
am.
So then all of these things are reflections of what?
Me.
Of you. So how are these going to change while you remain the same?
Oh.
And how do you remain the same? How do we remain the same?
Believe in the same beliefs that we have been.
And how do we express those? What do we do when we're doing that? How do we know we're doing that?
By the results of our daily life.
Okay. Well, what did Monique say? Monique, what did you say?
4-year-olds are a lot.
So what did Monique do?
Changed the script. She changed how she was identifying her experience.
Well, when she said that, is that what she was doing?
I was cussing myself out.
Meaning when for your business not having any money, your health sucking, you being broke, them 250,000, you are the one experiencing all of these things, right? So how do we know we stay the same? Because we keep talking about all these things.
External things. External things.
We keep going there. We keep going there. We don't ever turn back and say, oh, this mirror is showing myself. Let me go back and change my outfit. Let me go and change who I'm being. No one thinks about changing you, the I. They keep the I the same, then they will attack 250,000. So then what, 250,000, you talk to everybody. They said there was no money in the market. You talk to everybody. So what are you going to do then? What do you do then?
You talk to yourself.
No, but what do you do? What do people do then?
Fall in line.
Give up or go
comply.
Give up. Yeah, they succumb to what they hear externally.
You give up. Okay, so now you know why you give up. You know why you gave up. Because that's what you did. You were experiencing these things and you kept trying to change them while you stayed the same.
So, Coach, what I'm hearing is that you got to get downright delusional, because reality is what everybody else is doing. And you got to go really on the opposite of, so everybody's like, oh, you're like in the mindset that you have to be is like the opposite of what what reality looks like. You got to get downright delusional to want all the things that you want and it not look like what everybody else is saying and doing.
If you are, has anybody ever heard the statement or the phrase, you're the creator of your reality?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you're the creator of your reality and you have $250,000 and you tell yourself that you can't get it, why don't you think that's delusional? Why do you think saying what you want is delusional, but not what you're actually experiencing that you don't want is delusional? See, we have the wrong concept of what's delusional. We think when we want something that we are not currently experiencing is delusional, or we have to get it. We don't think we're delusional for experiencing what we don't want. But let me tell you how you actually do think that. If you go to the store and Sarita, and you're in the juice aisle, and somebody walks up to you and be like, "Hey, buy me that orange juice," and you say no, and they're like, "Well, you need to buy me that orange juice." You're like, "I don't even know you," and you're like, "Well, you need to buy me that orange juice because I'm thirsty." Wouldn't they be delusional?
X.
Could they make you do something you didn't want to do?
Absolutely not.
So then why is you wanting 250,000 delusional? But why is it you wanting it and telling yourself that's what it is now? Why is that delusional? How come you not having what you want is not delusional? Why isn't that delusional? Why is your suffering not delusional? That's actually what's delusional. You losing is delusional. If you're the creator of your reality, then why can't you have $250,000? If you're the creator of your reality, how is you creating your reality by choosing what you want? I have a desire and I'm in agreement with that. That's what I am now. Why is that delusional if you're the creator of your reality? Right? When you go into the store and you buy what you want, is that delusional?
No.
So then if you're in your store of you and 250,000 is what you want, and you buy that by accepting yourself or assuming yourself to be that, how is that delusional? What is the difference? We have the wrong concept of delusion. We have it inverted. Delusional suffering is delusional. Victory always is what it is. That's the way it's supposed to be. I have the victory in all things. Isn't that what it says? You're more than a conqueror, you're an overcomer. Isn't that what it says?
So we're lucid. So when we speak what we want, we're now lucid, which is
correct.
Okay.
You're waking up. You're waking up. You're waking up to the fact now, not just to the hearing, not to the intellect of I heard, I create my own reality. No, you're now waking up to the fact that is actually true. You're now actually, when you first get into a car and you first start driving, right? Like maybe the first 2 or 3 days, first week you were driving your car. Don't you drive it much differently now than you did then? So your first experience is like theoretical. It's like, yeah, I understand. But now, like you said, when you become lucid, you start driving the car different once you understand. You start driving it different. Well, I create my own reality. That sounds nice. Oh, that's cute. I mean, just press bumper sticker, put it on the refrigerator, put it on your mirror in the bathroom, brush your teeth to it. Great. But that's for most of us, it's only theoretical. It's only intellectual. We have not applied it enough for it to be experiential, for us to know, like, once you get in your car, that's why I remember driver's ed, and you had to drive around all the time, over and over and over. Or if you drove back in the day illegally with your parents or your grandparents in empty parking lots or whatever, but it was theoretical at first. And then you repped it out. You repeated enough for it to become experiential. And the more experiential it became, it changed the way you drove. It became smoother. You became more confident, more comfortable. It became what you call reality. Like in a way where you're like, this makes sense to me. It's the way it should be, right? But when you first get in, it doesn't feel like that. But it can never be what you experience now if it wasn't actually that when you first started. But you just didn't have the same level of familiarity with that truth. It is delusional to suffer. It's delusional to be broke. It's delusional to be sick. That is a delusion. That is not a fact. That's not true. but that is what's truly happening. If somebody said plus 2 is 5, you would say they're what?
Delusional.
Okay, so then how, if you're the creator of your reality and you say this is what it is, how is that delusional then? Which one is, both of those can't be delusional. Which one is it? So delusion means, yes, you can truly say something, 2 plus 2 is 5. I truly said that. Does it make it true? You're really broke. Does it make it true? It might be your experience, but it doesn't make it the truth. Meaning it's not something that cannot be changed if you change you. But you are delusional if you think anything in this affect world, the thing you created by your thinking, is going to change while you keep the same thinking or the same thought. That is delusion, because you're fighting against the law of nature. It's literally like thinking you're going to keep running your electricity and never pay the bill. Girl, they didn't cut my lights off. What's the first question you're going to ask somebody?
Did you pay the bill?
And they tell you, no, I don't need to do that.
Well, you'll be in darkness.
Okay, so then why do you think you're there without light and you're without your health, let's say? You ain't paid the bill. You have not chosen to think you are that. You're going to stay in darkness. Brokenness, darkness, sickness, madness, insanity, delusion. That's delusion. To think that you can operate something without paying for it is delusion. To think that you are going to get $250,000 thinking the way you did, that person sat month after month after month, and they came to their senses and said, whoa, 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 obviously something's not right here. Let me call somebody who actually knows how to think. And that person thought drastically different. He said, okay, I'll hang up the phone and I will redo the conversation. Remember when he said that? I'll start telling myself, I will hear from you that you have what you want. He put a new seed in. He put a new thought in. That a new thought, a new cause creates a new effect. If you're unwilling to change the cause, if you're unwilling to change your thoughts about something, or you're thinking about anything, you will not change its effect. There's nothing you can physically do to change that. Because the physical world is nothing but the expression of your awareness, of your thinking. That's not positive thinking. That's not negative thinking. That is the skill of thinking. It's learning how to choose your thought, like a farmer learns how to choose their seed in order to get, if I want a apple orchard, I can't go buy a bag of oranges and then say, praise the Lord, and it's going to work out anyway. You're violating the law. You can't think recklessly and haphazardly and think you're not going to, as the cause, reckless and haphazard, think there's not going to be an effect that mirrors that. It is delusional to think 2 plus 2 is 5. It is delusional to think that anything you desire is not and cannot and should not be physically experienced by you. That's delusional. It's delusional to suffer. It's delusional to go without your desire being met. That is delusional because of who you really are. If you're the creator of your reality and you go without your need being met, who else is supposed to make it work? Who's supposed to do it for you? Who's going to do it?
No one. You.
Are you sure? Because 4-year-olds are a lot. If you don't change that, right? In an example, if you don't, I can't find this, I don't have that, I don't, okay. Are you okay with the outcome of that? If that's physically true, are you okay with that? You are creating, meaning you are selecting. You are selecting the thought that is going to have a physical effect. If you don't change your thoughts, you can't change your physical world from your body on out. Your body is no different than $250,000. Your body is no different than money. Your body is no different than your relationships or your health or your business. It's no different than them 4-year-olds. they are what you think they are. And who's the one thinking they are something? You. So they are essentially what you think you are. If you think you can suffer, you'll be suffering. If you think you can be killed, you'll be lined up for that too. But this is what you're thinking. The physical world is only there to provide you the truth, to just like the mirror. The mirror doesn't put your outfit on, doesn't tell you to take it on, take it off. You dress yourself up in that. Why are you mad at the mirror? Because you look crazy. Why are you mad at your life? Because you look crazy. Because you're acting crazy, talking crazy, walking crazy, thinking crazy. You're going to get crazy. You're planting crazy. This is not positive thinking. This is the skill of thought, understanding how to think to your positive end. Whatever you tell yourself is true because you're the creator of reality, of your physical experience. You are creating that. Whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously, that's still a part of consciousness. The attic is your house and so is the basement. And everything in between is still part of the same house. And you're the owner of all the levels. So you're the owner of what you know you're thinking and what you don't realize you're thinking. Because you've been thinking it so long, it's not even in your consciousness, like in the front of your mind. But you've been thinking, but how do you know what you're thinking? Because something happens and you'll say something. Oh, shoot, here we go again. Oh, man, here comes this dude. Oh God, she's calling me. It lets you know what you're thinking. What you're assuming to be true. And a lot of times we're not aware of it until we react. But that's why so many people are reactive, because they have no control of their mind. They don't even know what's in there. So when something happens, then what do they say? I couldn't help it. I can't help it. Well, I can't. Well, if you can't help it, you can't control it. Who's supposed to do it? Is somebody supposed to grab your feelings? Somebody's supposed to grab your thoughts? Somebody's supposed to reach in your brain? And what are people supposed to do? So then guess what happens? If you can't control your mind, somebody else will control your body. Someone or something will control your, so you'll be in jail, or you'll be in a hospital, or you'll be laid up in the house. Your body is suffering. Your physical world suffers because your mind is out of control. Because you won't discipline it and you won't control it and choose what it is. That's like a farmer saying, well, I can't really control my land. I just throw seeds out there and see what comes down, what pops up. You'd be like, man, you are going to be broke. You are never going to make a living. And you may not even eat. That's how this goes. Every time you have any of these things, 250,000, you have a them, you have money, you have health, business. Anytime you have anything outside of you, from your body out, anything from your body out, anything in the physical world is all in your life is a reflection of you. Anytime you want to change your experience with those things, you have to change what?
You.
You. What does you mean?
Your own
I
universe.
am.
My awareness, my consciousness, my thoughts.
Yes. Your awareness, your consciousness, your thoughts. What are you telling yourself about anything from your body on out? About your body, about 250,000, about them, about money, about health, about business, about 4-year-olds, about traffic, about bills, about eyesight, about your hearing, about your children, about anything in the physical world, in your world is being governed by you. All of us are all living together, but we're not the same. We're all making different choices. So it's leading us to different outcomes. We're all here together living right next to each other. But just like I can't see through Marlon's eyes because I'm not Marlon. So I could be standing right next to him. We could all be standing right next to each other. We're all living independent lives, even though it's in a collective experience. We're all living according to our own faith, according to our own thought. So I could be standing right next to Karen And Karen can be thinking, looking at me like, I hate this fool. He's always on here Saturday talking crazy. And I just wish I could just run over him with a car. I'm standing right next to Karen, and I'm like, man, Karen loves me. Karen thinks I'm great. Karen and I are great friends. Both of us we're both right. In Karen's physical world, that's what's going to happen. She's going to run me over with a car. In my physical world, Karen and I are out to breakfast, having lunch, enjoying ourselves. Both of those are going to happen. But I will never experience I will never experience that. Karen will never experience what I'm experiencing. We are both having our own independent realities. That's why it's according to your faith, be it unto you. According to your faith, be it unto you. Not them, not they, not we, not them. So you are breaking the law when you're attributing your physical outcomes to they or them or we. You're breaking the law, and you can't break the law of consciousness. It's not going to work. So you're going to suffer because you keep looking outside of yourself to change what you want to be different in you. You have to change, and your world will change. You trying to change your world while you remain the same is literally, like I said, trying to turn on the lights after they cut the lights off. After you didn't pay your bill and they just cut them off. You can stand there flipping the switch all you want. You're not doing what it takes to change your experience. Pay the bill. You crying, you praying, you meditating, you turning on candles, you facing some way, you wearing something. That's not going to change anything. The only way to change the things that you are experiencing physically, from your physical body on out, everything, including that and out, everything else starts and is maintained and governed by you. You are consciousness. You are thoughts. You are thinking. You are not your thoughts, but that you're using your thoughts to create a physical thing. A farmer is not their seeds. A farmer uses their seeds on behalf of itself, of himself or herself, in order to create the vineyard, the physical experience of what it planted. You are not your thoughts any more than a farmer is their seed. But a farmer, a wise farmer knows which seed to use to create the physical vineyard that it wants to experience, whether it's to sell things, eat, or whatever else it is. You are not your thoughts, but you are using your thoughts. You're as consciousness, as awareness, you are using your thoughts to create your vineyard, your physical experience. And if you have a vineyard or a physical experience you want to change, just literally change the seed. That's all it takes. Change the seed and keep it changed until it grows. Until it becomes physical in your world. It's that simple. We do it for other stuff. 4-year-olds are a lot. Was that hard to say, Monique? Was it hard to say? Did you need a college degree to say 4-year-olds are a lot?
No, it rolled right off my tongue.
Right? So then guess what? But why did it do that? Because we've been trained that way. We've been trained that way. And I'm telling you that 4-year-olds are a lot. It was easy to roll off your tongue because we've been trained. I'm telling you that we have to train ourselves. And I don't mean like it has to be some kind of laborious, ridiculous effort. I'm just saying it has to be an intentional focus to say, you know what? If 4-year-olds are a lot, only reason I believe that is because I've trained myself to say things unconsciously or say things against my own best interest. So now I'm going to put some effort, some intentional awareness on 4-year-olds are great and they love me. You could say that just easy. That could roll. Did you have to lift weights to say that? Did you have some kind of shaman? Did you have to put on some kind of outfit? You could say the exact opposite. You have to learn how to say the opposite. Shoot, if you're so good at saying something bad, write down all the bad things you can think and then split it by a line and now write their opposite. And then rip the paper and walk around with the opposite in your pocket for a week and literally bring it out as much as you need to and only say these things. You have to start planting a new vineyard. You have to start entertaining new thoughts in order to get new outcomes. You have to start planting new seeds in order to get new crops. It's a law. It's not complicated. It's not hard. It's whatever you tell yourself it is. That's what it'll be. If you want to complicate it, it'll be complicated. If you want it to be hard, it'll be hard. If you want to take a long time, it'll take a long time. You can literally tell yourself anything. because you're the creator of your reality. If you can't tell yourself anything, then you're not the creator. If you're limited by what you can tell yourself or what you can say, you're not the creator. But since you are the creator, then that means you're unlimited. But unlimited what? You are unlimited. You are consciousness. You are awareness. And you, as awareness and consciousness, you use thoughts. Consciousness is the farmer. Thoughts are the seed. So a farmer can plant any seed. They know what they're doing. They plant it and they get it. You are consciousness. You're the farmer. You're going to use, like a farmer uses seed, consciousness uses thoughts. Meaning your awareness, right? Your thoughts, your feelings, what you are telling yourself to be true. That is going to produce same thing. Farmer and seed produces crops, right? Consciousness and thoughts with the feeling and the awareness produces what humanity calls reality. But seed and crops can't be more real than the farmer who plants them. Well, your reality can't be more real than the consciousness that creates it. So the crops and reality are only reflections. This is the actual doer, the farmer and consciousness. Doer. This is easy work. This is easy work. Stop telling yourself it's hard. Stop telling yourself you're confused. Stop telling yourself you don't understand. It's the same thing as them, they, I can't find this, 4-year-olds are a lot. Stop telling yourself things that you don't want to actually be. Learn how, when you see something, to describe it the way you choose. That is being an adult. An adult isn't an age. You see all kinds of adults acting like they're 10. Right? We're talking about a level of awareness where you're able to be responsible, where you're able to wield your authority in wisdom. Right? If you literally start telling yourself, you know what do I want to say about this thing? When I say, oh, I need a social media manager. Right now, you don't have one because you're telling yourself you don't. You're telling yourself it's hard. You're telling yourself I can't find anybody. You're telling yourself it ain't going to work. You're telling yourself they never get it right. You're telling yourself they don't understand me. You're telling yourself whatever, all the stuff you're telling yourself. That's why you have what you have or you don't have what you don't have. So now you literally say, okay, cool. Let me write down all the stuff I'm telling myself. Damn, this is cool. Now I'm going to draw a line and I'm going to tell myself, I can't find anybody. I have someone. They don't understand me. They understand me perfectly. They don't get the work done on time. They get the work done early. You rip off the paper and you only read that half. You only say to yourself what's on this half. Do you want to be a farmer with your crops or not? Or do you want to starve? It's up to you. It's completely up to you. Just like that guy going from March to April to May with nobody and had to call his friend and be like, hey, maybe you need to help me learn. I need to plant some new seed because otherwise I'm about to go down. But the underwriter was already there. You just would have never saw them. That's what I want you guys to understand. Everything already exists. But by what you're telling yourself, you are embodying an identity that has sight. And you will never has vision because it's aware of being something. And therefore, it only sees based on the vision. I am being the person who doesn't have. So then I can never see what I don't have. If you now are willing to rip that paper and start telling yourself all the stuff on this side, you literally leave this spot and you go to this spot. And now you're the person who has. And so therefore you are, and you can see that social media manager sitting right there waiting on you. You just can't see him as you are. You are embodying an identity that can't see that. You are the person who does not, who is not, who has not. Therefore, it cannot be shown to you because then that's not reality. Right? That's not reality. If you are being the person that doesn't have, how can you have? That's not reality. You have to be the person who has in order to have. Has comes before have. You have to be the version of yourself that has in order for your physical world to have, to show you that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Absolutely.
Right? That is why when you're talking about 250, they, them, it is you that has to now change. You will then get a new version of that. So just like all of us can change, all of us can change. We have infinite identities. We're constantly identifying ourselves as I have, I don't. I am, I'm not. I was, I wasn't. We're constantly shifting between identities, what we're aware of being. Well, just like you can change, the person, let's say right now that you hate, they can change too. But you're on a line. You're only gonna get the line that you're on.
We need a new marker.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just kind of talking anyway. You are this and they are that on this line. If who they are you don't like, it's just there to guide you to say switch lines. Okay, what do I want to be? I want to be this with this person. Okay, well, this with this person will lead you. Okay, now you're here. So now that you're here, you're going to get them. This is the version of them you're going to get. You're not changing a person. That's where that is. And you trying to change it, you trying to change a person. Do you know what that's actually making you do?
Work harder.
Why?
Because that's not the formula. That's not the law.
So then what are you actually doing? You are actually trying to do something that you can't do and still remain as you are. That's what makes it harder. Because you haven't changed and you're doing something that's not going to work anyway. The person that you don't like, that aspect of them is always there. It will never change. It's just an option. It's just, they will never change. That version of them is that version of them. Just like that version of you is that version of you. It will never change. You can now say, okay, I want to be a different version of me. How do you change who you are, who you're being? Because you can't change who you are. Who you are being, you change who you are is what allows you, that's the constant that allows you to now change. The constant allows the change. The constant means everything in here, these are all my options of myself. I can now pull out of myself this option. So from the constant, it promotes or produces or allows change. So how do you change who you are? Being, who you're being, the version of yourself. How do you do that?
You change your narrative, you change your thoughts.
Correct. You change what you're telling yourself. What you're telling yourself must be physically seen, physically acted out and seen. If you don't like what's being physically acted out and seen, you change what you're telling yourself. Like you said, your story, your narrative. You think you're reading a story of the world. You're reading a story of yourself. You keep thinking you're talking about this, but you're really talking about this in relation to this. Who's talking?
Mm-hmm.
Who is talking? Who is that?
I am.
You.
So then who do you think, when you're talking about 250,000, who do you think you're talking about? What do you think you're talking about?
Myself.
Yourself, what?
Having the 250,000.
You're talking about yourself. You're talking about your concept of self in relation to 250,000. The 250,000 is the same. When you have a 2-year-old and they're in the kitchen and maybe you're coming out of the bathroom and you see them with a knife, what do?
You stop them.
Stop him.
Why? It's just a knife. Okay, what if you have a 22-year-old in there? And you walk out of the bathroom and you have a 22-year-old child and they have a knife. What do?
Trust them with the knife.
Okay, so what's the difference between a 22-year-old and a 2-year-old? Awareness. Okay. How come no one mentioned the knife?
I don't.
What?
I don't. Nobody mentioned the knife because one was a more safer situation than the other because it was a 22-year-old. Sure.
Based on what?
Awareness.
So then 250,000 is based on what?
Awareness.
It being possible or impossible is based on what?
Awareness.
On whose awareness?
I am's.
Okay, yours, right?
Right.
So then why are you worried about 250,000 instead of you? Why are you focused on 250,000 instead of you? The knife didn't change, only the age of the person. So based on who you see that person being, that knife is dangerous or not dangerous, but it's still the same thing. It doesn't work any different, right? 250,000 is still the same. It's not any harder or easier to get. It's hard or easy based on what?
Awareness.
Which is what? You.
Me, my
It's
thinking, me.
on you. So if you don't change you, how are you gonna see the money? If the you're being is I ain't got it, I can't get it. How are you gonna get better friends? How are you gonna get more playing time? How are you gonna be the best baseball player on the team? How are you gonna be whatever it is you desire? And it's you the desirer, and you suck, and you're broke, and 4-year-olds are a lot. Look at how you're defining yourself. You are not the person that can happen to, is my point. That is what you have to change. And you change by choosing. You don't change by complaining, whining, crying, looking at the past, saying, I've been this has happened to me. Oh, all of that is great, wonderful. It's all true. That don't change anything because you haven't chosen anything different. You change you, and by changing you, you change your relationship to things. When you go from 2 to 22, you're the same you, but you're a more mature you. You're a different version of yourself, right? Is it your name Gavin at 2 like it is at 22 when you get there? It's still going to be the same name. You're still the same being who you are. You're just going through different aspects of yourself.
Right.
So as you grow in maturity, a knife looks different to you and to everyone else around you. Everyone else will see you and it different. So the panic will die, so to speak, right? You won't cut yourself with it like you would if you were 2 and not knowing any better. So the thing itself doesn't change. The money doesn't change. The playing time doesn't change. Being the best doesn't change. Having the business you want. All those things are reflections of you. They don't change. You change, and your relationship to it changes. You don't cut yourself with a knife at 22 like you would at 2.
Right. You wouldn't.
You just wouldn't. You don't suffer in your business when you're 22 compared to maybe if you're 2.
Right.
You just don't. Meaning when you've matured that same way in your awareness of business like you are in your awareness of a knife, neither one of them can harm you. They're only there to help you. So how can you be suffering in business any more than you would with a knife? You have to be 2. You have to not be aware properly. Did the knife change?
Yes, sir.
Does the business change? Does the team change? Does the bat change? Does the ball change? No, just the player changes. The awareness changes. The being, what you're being is changing. You're choosing something else. You're choosing a different aspect of yourself, a different version of yourself. You are the person who does it. You have to go to the person who does. So you literally, do it like this. It's everybody's homework. Be honest so you can do this right. Right now, you have a concept. I don't care. Put a title. It could be money. It could be, let's just say money. It could be anything. Relationships. It could be anything. Everybody this week, I want you to do it. Okay? I don't care what you think or how you feel. Do it. Money. Underline it. Put a line down the middle. Be honest. This could be any topic you want. Relationships, your business, your health, anything. On this left side, I want you to be honest about what you're really thinking. I'm broke. This sucks, right? He hates me. She hates me. Whatever the title is, I want you to put down all the things that you know you're thinking to be true. And you know they're not right, but it's honest. You're being honest right now. This is what's going on in my mind when I think about this title. These are all my fears, all my worries, all my doubts, all my insecurities, all my training and conditioning. Money doesn't grow on trees. You got to set a boundary with somebody so that they know how to handle you, all the other stuff. Then you now on this right side, you're going to write the opposite. You're going to start planting a new vineyard. You're going to start telling yourself, this is now true. I'm broke. No, I always have more than enough. This sucks. Man, I'm the best ever. I'm the greatest. I have the best business ever. I have the best relationship ever. I make money so easy, it's ridiculous. I always have more than I can ever use or need. Every time I use my money, it multiplies, it comes back multiplied. Every time I use my money, it grows like a muscle. Every time I use it, it grows, right? Whatever it is, you start literally telling yourself, you write down the opposite. This is what you're telling yourself is true, and you're getting your ass whooped because of it. You are literally creating your own misery. That which you greatly feared is over here, is coming on you, is what you're experiencing constantly. You have to start telling yourself something new now. Just as religiously, as faithfully, as consistently, as immediately. As soon as you wake up, you're like, oh God, I hope I can afford it. Oh God, I always have more than enough. Oh God, I wonder what today is going to bring. Today is going to be the best day ever because I'm the best ever. Oh, nobody's perfect. I am perfect. I am perfection. Everything I do is right. I can't make a wrong move. All my moves are right. Everything I think is right, say is right, feel is right, do is right. I am perfect. I am whole. I'm complete, lacking nothing. Everything I do is right. I am perfection, and everything around me is perfect. You're the creator of your reality. Why are you going to let somebody else tell you you can't be or what you can or can't be? And you're the one that got to live with it? So if that's what you all are willing to do, then you should go to the grocery store, all of you, take out your money and walk down the aisle and ask everybody what you should buy. Anybody do that? Hey, what you think I should put in my cart? Well, that's a little funky cart that you're going to eat and be done with in 2 or 3 days, but you'll let somebody do it with your life. Tell you what you can be, who you can be, how much you can be, if you can be, how long you can be. You do it with your life. You won't do it with a little cart for some food that's going to be gone in a couple days out of your system and out of your bank account, and you can get it back, but you won't let them do it with your life. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to put something up here on the left side. Be honest of what you're thinking right now. There's no judgment. There's no judgment to those that are in Christ Jesus. There's no condemnation. There is that's humanity's issue. Your awareness of being doesn't judge you. It judges you not because you're right or wrong. It judges you, meaning it gives you what you are telling it to be true.
It's back a little.
Sentence according to your actions. And so if you're thinking properly, you're going to be sentenced properly. You're going to get everything that you want. If you're thinking improperly, you're going to be sentenced and you're going to get nothing, everything you don't want. So on the right side, you're going to flip it and you're going to say everything the opposite. Find the most positive, productive thing you can say, opposite of what you put over here. And then you're going to tear this paper in half, put it in your pocket, put it in your bra, put it in your drawers, put it in your socks, I don't care where you put it, keep it on you. And every day you walk out the house, before you get to running your mouth to everyone else, you tell yourself these things. When you first wake up in the morning, you tell yourself these things. When you're in the shower, you tell yourself these things. When you're driving in the car, you tell yourself these things. Start telling yourself what you want to be true more often. Cut the radio off. Get off the social media and scrolling and sitting there for hours watching a whole bunch of foolishness while you're keeping your life the same. That's why you're on there so long, because all you're trying to do is numb and distract yourself from your own misery instead of actually causing your own glory, planting your own glory, and you'll be more interested in your life than you are in others. Why don't you be interested in your life? That's why we tried that out. It's a novel thing. Be interested in your life, in yourself. But if 4-year-olds are a lot, hell, I need a drink too afterward. I don't even drink. I may start drinking. If I'm getting my butt whooped by some 4-year-olds, I got to do whatever I got to do.
That's back a little, please.
In life.
Yeah, that's not funny because I told my sister I'm going to the bar. I'm going to the bar.
4-year-olds can't beat you up, can't rob you, and got you at the bar. Like, this is what we do to ourselves, right? Things that can't do anything to us, look what we allow it to do when we're not in our right mind. But who did it? We did it. We told ourselves that. And guess what? It had to be true. So what I want you to do is start, if it has to be true anyway, tell yourself what you want. And be as ruthless and relentless with your good as you are with your bad, with your right as you are with your wrong. The law doesn't see right or wrong, but for you in experience, one feels right and one feels wrong. Tell yourself that you are what you want to be, that you have what you want to have. It's a law. It has to be proved. You have to be proven right. Once you understand that, this gets easy. You're like, you know what? Right now, all these things over here, yeah, I'm about done with that. I mean, hell, is it working for you? Is this left side, does it work? Does it ever get better?
Nope.
I've never found it to get better. Right? So then no. But you have to ask yourself, is it harder to change or is it harder to keep getting my butt whooped? Which one of these are going to be more difficult for me? Should I just keep going with this thing that I already know that isn't working? Why would you keep going with that? Or are you willing to start telling yourself something different so you can see something different? Nothing wrong with going to the bar, but you go in because that's what you want to do. Not because a 4-year-old made you go in. You go because that's what you want to do. Because that's who you want to be in that moment. That's the experience you want to have. The problem with our things is not what we're doing, it's why we're doing it. That's the part nobody wants to actually acknowledge. Why are you here? Oh, I'm grown. I'm 20. Yeah, no, but that's not why you here. That ain't why you here. That ain't why you here at all. I know it and you know it. Right? Why are you here? It's not about what you're saying as much as it is who is saying it. Who is talking right now? Who is saying what you're saying? If you thought about that, you wouldn't say half the stuff you say. You'd be like, if I knew who I was, there's no way I would say that. If I know I'm the parent, there's no way I'm going to use this language around my children. No way. So what, your 5-year-old can go into class and the teacher say, hi, Logan. And Logan like, hey, what's up, mother? You want, right. Then they're going to be calling you and you're going to have to pick Logan up and you have to take off work because he's going to be out for a couple of days. There's no way you use that language around your kids. Well, why would you use that language around your life? Look at how many things we value and not even our own. You value your kid more than yourself. How are you going to do that? Your kid going to pay your taxes, drive you around, feed you, clothe you? You have to love you. You have to start with you. Know thyself, to thine own self be true. Everything starts with you. So if you don't want your kid to use that language, you don't use it. If you don't want your life to suck, stop telling it sucks. You're telling it sucks and it's repeating it back to you and now you're going to the bar. I mean, what kind of fool are you? You created the whole situation. Right? These are things that we do. These are things that we do to ourselves. I'm pointing out what we do to ourselves. Right? And anytime you want to change something, anytime, everybody pay attention. Anytime you want to change something, where do you start?
With the man in the mirror.
With yourself.
With yourself. With the man in the mirror. With the human in the mirror. You tell yourself something different. What is going on? I'm not playing enough. Coach doesn't like me. Okay, you start with yourself. I am the best. My coaches love me and my teammates love me. I'm the best player on the team. Whatever you want to tell yourself, what do you want to experience? You're planting a seed. You're a farmer looking out at dry land or land that's not working for you. Okay, let's start planting some seeds. Let's get this growing. I don't care what kind of crop you're growing. Do you think the crop just got there on its own? Think somebody rolled up and there was already crops there? Somebody had to plant the seed. Right? So you start telling yourself, anytime you want to see something different in your physical world, it's just an opportunity for you to describe it and define it different. But you have to be willing to do that. You have to be the person this happens to. Last thing I'll say, and then I'll open up for questions, comments, or everything else. I was thinking about this exact thing this weekend. What's one of the things that lets you know it's Christmas?
Mariah Carey.
Yeah, that's pretty.
All you hear in the distance is hi. And that's all you got to know. The ice is defrosting, y'all. That's all you got to hear.
That's it, right? What's one of the things that lets you know it's Christmas?
Decorations.
Okay, decorations. All right. What do you put decorations on?
That Christmas tree that's all over everywhere, artificial and real.
Okay.
House, trees, all over everywhere.
Say it again.
Houses, trees.
Trees.
Yeah, you see people putting on their cars now. They put their whole car full of like
Put
the
deer
little
ears on
bulbs.
Okay. Watch,
Yeah.
watch this. I put trees, houses, and cars. What happens if I get rid of those things? Of trees, houses, and cars. What are you going to do with your decorations?
We have to find a new place to use
Put in the
them.
street.
Huh?
I'll
in the
put it on
street.
myself.
You
And
going
it's
to
no good.
lights
Their
on?
value drops.
Huh?
They have no place to go.
They have no place to go. Well, what are you going to do with all your desires and you're the tree? If you suck, where are you going to put your desires? If you're not, where are you going to put your desires? If you can't afford it, where are you going to put affording it? What you going to hang affording it on? What are you going to hang prosperity on? What are you going to hang abundance and good health on? What are you going to hang your success that you're desiring? Those success is just an ornament. Prosperity is just an ornament. Are there some people have it and there's some people who don't?
Yeah.
Are there, when you go to people's trees and their house and their tree, don't people have different ornaments on there than you do?
Yes.
But they're still both hanging on a what?
Tree.
A tree. So metaphysically, do you know what a tree represents? Consciousness. Consciousness.
And then the fruit, okay. Yeah.
The fruit are the outcomes of what
Outcomes.
consciousness of being. Consciousness is the tree. Your thoughts are the branches that the fruit hangs off of.
Mhm.
So consciousness powers the vines or the branches, and the branches and the vines produce the fruit. So the fruit is the end result of the tree, of the awareness, of consciousness. Your physical world is the fruit. Your consciousness is the tree, and your thoughts are the vines by which that process happens. So if you have no tree, where are you going to put your lights and your bulbs and all your fancy things you're going to hang? Where are you going to put that?
Nowhere.
If your consciousness is no good, if your tree is dead or dying because of all this stuff that you're operating on the left side, I'm broke, this sucks, he hates me, she hates me, my boss hates me, I can't get a raise, I never have enough money, what does job mean? Just over broke. All that stupid you guys say that you guys get in these groups and everybody parents and everybody says, just that, bro, and you sound stupid. And you look stupid and your life is stupid. I'm just going to give it to you like I'm 9 years old on the playground. You just look stupid. You sound stupid and you're acting stupid. And guess what? Stupid plus stupid is stupid and stupid and stupid.
3 minutes left.
It never gets smarter. It's stupid. Stop saying what everybody else says. Stop thinking like everybody else thinks. Stop copying what everybody else says. Stop telling yourself it takes 2 to 5 years to make money in a business. You keep telling yourself things and then you're mad about getting what you said. Stop telling yourself things you don't want to be true, that you don't want to physically experience. Stop. You're not a good person. You're not even right. You're saying 2 + 2 is 5. How did it take, let's just say it this way, how did it take God to make the earth in 6 days and it takes you 2 to 5 years to make money in your business? What kind of fool are you? Are you that? You got to be stupid then. Why does it take you so long? And you're made in the image and likeness. What is your problem? Like, stop parroting all this stupid stuff. Be more critical about what you're hearing and what you are internalizing and adopting. Be more critical of that because you are literally planting those same seeds and you'll get the same crops. Right? So if you don't have a tree, if you don't have the consciousness, you can't hang prosperity on it. You can't hang health on it. You'll be walking around with a whole bunch of bulbs and all the little, what's that little, the little stuff that you hang on there? The little
Stencil.
You'll be walking around looking like all kind of fool. They're going like, what are you doing? Because everybody's thinking it should be on a tree. Yeah, it should. But you don't have no tree to put it on because 4-year-olds are a lot. You don't have no tree to put it on because it takes 2 to 5 years to make money. You don't have no tree to put it on because, the coach don't like me and he told me that, and my friends and the teammates say, okay, well then walk around like a fool with the stencil on and the light bulbs on and walk around and just go ahead. Just act and just own it. Own your stupid. Just going out there and look like it all the way.
9.
Right? So you have to have something to put this on. And your tree is your awareness, what you are, your consciousness, and what you're telling yourself to be true. The decorations got to go on something. In my best English, they got to go on something, and they can't go on stupid. Can't plug a tree up with some lights and you didn't pay the light bill. I mean, like we just walking around like this is so complicated. This is not complicated. This is not complicated. Stop telling yourself it is. It's not. Whatever you keep telling yourself to be true will be proven to be true to you. It's already proven that. We're not doing anything new. We're just choosing something new. That's new. Choosing to tell yourself you're the best and you're the greatest. And everyone loves you, loves your business, loves what you have to offer, loves to pay you what you want, and loves to refer others to do the same. That's new. Instead of saying 2 to 5 years, maybe somebody will like it if I get on here and make 70,000 posts. No, everybody loves my business. Everybody's looking for me. I'm sought out. I'm sold out. I'm sought after. Everybody loves me, loves to pay me what I want, and loves to refer others to do the same. Do that. How about that? You could tell yourself that. That could roll off your tongue. 4-year-olds love me. Everybody in the city that's 4 loves me. They're all looking for me. That can
9 o'clock.
But what do we choose? We choose death instead of life. But I ain't going on that ride with you. I already know what Titanic looked like. I'll wave, tell you don't get on there, but if you want to go, please go on ahead. You like it, I love it. But I ain't going to get on there. Ain't no outfit. It don't matter what outfit you got on, you drowning. So I'm not going on there. Right? All right. Questions, comments, anything?
Just wanted to just break it off slowly. Mr. Coach Lucky, you've been just killing it overall. You've been getting my mental right. Just a little backstory. Started school a couple months ago, and I came up with this thing of giving it 1 year of 110%. Like absolutely no excuses, just 10 out of 10 consistency. And so for the first time, I'm gonna see if I can show y'all this on my phone, but for the first time in 3 school years, I'm passing my 6 weeks with AB honor.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Do it to
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations.
Go team.
Congratulations.
And
Do
so
it to
and so I have been eavesdropping on some of the calls that y'all would have on Saturday. And so I'd be really enjoying what you would say, and just the call of today, just really showing me where I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to get there, and how all of this is just mental. Like me having late assignments, me missing out on schoolwork, it's just mental. It's me not wanting to do the work. So when I told myself in this 1 year of 110% was just, let's see what happens if I don't have any excuses. Let's see what happens. Let's see the change in my GPA. Let's see the change in my scouting. Let's see the change of my athletic performance when I am giving it 100% and I have no excuses and I'm all in my mind can do this. And let alone I've had my mom reminding me you can do this. You can do this. Can't, it's not a word. And we're my mom, me, my sister, my dad, can't really isn't a word. We take care of it, get it done right then and there. Me and my dad, we never said we can't get up at 4 a.m. every day during the school week and go to the gym every morning. And guess what? We never said can't. We would consistently do that every morning before school. And then if we can't make it before school, we would go after school and work. And it was just realizing that can't is just a word. You don't have to apply it. You can just really exit it out of your entire vocabulary and just do it. Like Nike, just do it. And so, like I said, I have AB honor roll, and then I'm also now I'll be able to play district for my football team, which means I'll also be eligible to get my letterman for the first time. And so I'm just saying this just to show you thanks, and just show you that what you're doing has gotten me very far and where I want to go with the baseball and football stuff. So I'm just here to give you your flowers and just say thank you. That's all.
It's I think you see all of us are proud of you, and all of us respect what you're doing. Love is one thing, respect is another. We all have love for you, but we only gonna respect you by what you do, right? And we all living the same life. We all got to do it, whether it's baseball, whether it's being a parent, whether it's being a business owner. It is what it is, and it is whatever we tell ourselves it is, right? And so you choosing as a young person, we are also excited for you because we all, I'm sure, all wish we had known all these things the way we are learning them now. And so we're happy for you because we understand how happy we are learning at our age. So we know that the world is at your feet should you continue to choose. You're the person failing and you're the person you're succeeding. You're the one that is making a choice on which one you are at every moment of time. There's never an exemption. There's never an exception. There's never one area of life that doesn't apply to or isn't true about. And so you're just proving to yourself what is true, that you have the ability to tell yourself 110%. And if that's what you tell yourself, then that's what it's going to be. If you tell yourself that 110% means this, whatever you're telling yourself is true. And you're proving that to be true. And that's what it talks about in the book. Test yourself and see what we're here to do. Test yourself, test yourself right on this side. This is the opposite of every stupid thing I've been saying. These are the smart things it is. And I tear it off and put it in my pocket, put it in my purse, put it wherever I need to. And I'm going to read this off to myself every day. This is what it is, period. It's not negotiable. It's not for everybody else's opinion and perspective. No, this is what it is. If I got a business, it makes money now. If I'm on a team, I'm playing now. I'm the best right now. I'm the greatest right now. I'm healthy right now. I'm successful right now. I am what I am right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, now. And I make that choice. There is no divine timing separate from you. You are divine and you made time. So whenever the time itself, so you are divine timing. When you say it's so, it's so. What you say it is. And that goes for everyone, for all of us about anything. That is the law. It doesn't matter whether it's electricity. It doesn't matter if it's a phone, a computer, a TV. It uses the same thing. Doesn't matter the difference in what it looks like. Doesn't matter what area of your life you're talking about. It uses the same law of electricity. Whatever you tell yourself is true is true. What you will not accept to be different than what you say will prove itself to be what you say. So much love and respect for you. Keep doing that, and you will continue to see what you see.
And last thing, there was football wise. So second game of the season, I had a pass and it was wide open. Could have possibly won us the game, but there was a lot of times in the game where I came up in that specific game. I came up short. I had a bad blocking assignment. I had this and that. All that bad stuff happened. Then I had a wide open pass, dropped it in front of all my peers and my teammates and my coaches. It was like they didn't even want to be around me. And so every day, that day haunted me. And then consistently, when I went to school, people would always consistently find ways to bring it up. So yesterday, you could ask my mom and my dad about this. I came home, voice was gone, body was aching because, like I said, I gave it 110% on the field. I made several catches, a bunch of tackles. We did lose the game, sadly, but we made a bunch of tackles and all that. And from that day, I had a bunch of people DM me on my phone telling me, Gavin, you've earned my respect. I'm never going to talk about you again. I apologize, because they actually seen that, I can actually ball. And so it was the same thing going back to just showing like what people say don't matter. The epiphany of what people have of you don't matter. It's really what you think of yourself is what matters. And that's something that you've taught me and something that my mom and my dad have reminded me on multiple occasions. And so it was just that, like, that Deion Sanders mentality. Like, he never gave a darn. That's how he would say it. He would never gave a darn about what other people would think about him. He would always be like, I'm prime time, baby, and it's prime time. Mm-hmm. So it's just, once again, flowers and just showing you that what you do is a huge impact on me. And once again, to the whole community and to you specifically, I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to hear from you and good to see you. Wonderful.
He said it all. Oh, go ahead, Monique. Go ahead, Monique.
That's it. I was going to say congratulations, nephew. And 4-year-olds love me.
That's right. Everybody. What's the difference between a 4-year-old hating you and a 40-year-old hating you? They both suck. So everybody loves you. You take one instance and you use that to raise your standard about that whole area, right? 4-year-olds love me, but shoot, or 4-year-olds love me, then I go home and my husband hates me or my wife hates me or my kids hate me. That ain't no better. So you know what? Everybody loves me. Everybody thinks I'm the best. Everyone chooses me and prioritizes me. Everyone thinks I'm the greatest. Everyone loves to hear me when I talk. Everyone loves to see me when I walk in. Everybody thinks about me and thinks highly of me and thinks well of me. But there's no professionalism or personal life. There's life. So if you're a mother and your kid gets sick and they call you, guess what? at work, you got to leave because there is no separation between the two. So there's no separation between a 4-year-old hating you and a 40-year-old hating you. No, everybody loves you. Everybody means you well and treats you kindly, and there's a link in the chain if you're good. Everybody thinks the best of you and loves to see you in their own ways, but everybody does it. That's the standard. So you take a situation, it allows you to create a standard where everything in this area is like that. And that's wonderful. That's the way it should be.
I'm getting my nails done right now, so forgive the noise in the background, but just thank you again. Last week, I spent the whole week literally walking around. I was so grateful that I was like kind of isolated from the world. I went out in the world, but I also spent a lot of time with myself in my own world. And I just kept checking myself constantly, like annoyingly. I was checking every thought, every single thought I was checking. Nope. Like everything you put on the board on the left side and the right side, I kept correcting myself the whole week. And it felt good to not be around so many external distractions where I could invest in myself like that. I could focus on myself. And I just started seeing all these blessings that I had. I'm like, yo, you are the biggest brat. And that's okay. That's okay. You're a healthy brat. Keep going. Don't let nobody make you think it's something wrong with being spoiled. Don't let nobody make you think it's something wrong with not wanting to pay bills. You are the woman you are. You are the goddess you are. It makes sense. That's all that matters. It makes sense. And just spend more time with you. The more I did that, the better my week was. So thank you, Coach. Thank you again, Vero.
Wonderful.
I've been going for a little while, but I came back to all the smoke, okay? To all of the smoke. But I will say, even in my absence, I hear your voice and I hear all of the things going on. So it was a time where I was ruminating on something and I wrote it in the chat. And I was on it for like a week. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, yeah, this is gonna happen. And it wasn't until I changed my mind, I was like, wait a minute. This ain't what we do. This. I don't have to accept what I think or what I feel like my intuition is bringing. I don't have to accept that. I can change what it is that I want. I can forecast what it is that I want. So when I did that, like when I was in the ruminating phase, I reaped the benefits of that. When I changed my mind, I reaped the benefits of that. So yeah, I realized wherever I want my benefit to be is where my mind is going to be. So yeah, that's and to Sparkle, please say the Bailey, Miss Sparkle Bailey, her point. It took like a little bit of like some thought come in. It's like, all right, because you think, oh, okay, this is a normal thought, but no, if it ain't the thought I want, I just change it, give the opposite. So yeah, and Gavin, everything that you said, I love and I respect, and it is inspiring to me at my big old age, all the things that you just said. So 100%, 10% is what I'm giving as well. So thank you for your what you said.
I hope he heard you.
One thing I want to say real quick, I always go, but I have to tell you guys things. Your brain and your mind are two different things. I'm going to say it this way so that it's a little easier for people to understand. Your brain and your mind are two different things. Your brain is what your mind uses to put in thoughts so that your brain needs information like your car needs gas, like your stomach needs food, like, it's just operating on what's being put in it. It doesn't care what's put in there. It doesn't argue what's put in there. It just uses it. So your brain always is always using what you give it, and it uses what you give it and also repeats what you give it because it's all it has. It uses the information that it has. So it's using what you give it now, almost like your body uses the food you give it now. If you haven't eaten in a while, it'll start using the food that it stored, right? And then if that's not enough, then it'll start growling. Well, your mind uses what you're thinking now, or it'll use what you've already been thinking to keep it going, or it will start forecasting based on what it's been thinking, right? So that's how your brain works. But if the things you put in there, so-called, are not good thoughts, it can still only use what's in there. It can't create anything new. It only uses what you have given it, what you've given it now, or what it is recreating based on what you've given it in the past, or what it is using to forecast what you may give it in the future along the lines that you've already given it. So your brain is not actually working against you, it's just working. But if you wanted to now start operating on different things or storing different things or forecasting different things, you have to give it a different thing. You have to give it the right side, and it will literally do what it's been doing on the left side. It will literally start doing this. So when you keep changing your thought and saying, no, it's this way, no, it's this way, it's because it's used to this way. It's just used to it. It's not mad at you. It's not against you. It's just used to this. So you have to now keep going back to this. And then after a while, this will push that out. Like if you have some water and you pour it in the sink and you pour water in the cup, and after a while, if you keep the water pouring, it'll keep pushing the oldest water out, and it'll always be replacing it with the new water. And after a while, it'll only be this thing, right? And it will run on this just like it runs on that. It doesn't care what it runs on. It just needs something to run on. And if you want it to produce, and it uses that to identify the physical counterparts in the world. Oh, she thinks we're this, so this is what we have to show her. Now she thinks we're this. Yeah, but we've been thinking this, so we're going to keep going back to it. But if she keeps hitting us with that, it's like somebody keeps knocking on the door. You're like, fine, what? All right, come on in, right? And then if you keep doing it, that presence expands. And so your mind is the storage unit that is putting thoughts into it according to what you are thinking. And so your brain takes that and says, oh, this is what she wants to see. This is what she wants to see in physical experience. She wants to see more broke, or she wants to see better health now. She wants to see this new thought. And so once you start putting that new thought in enough, it will show you in physical world. It will bring that broker that got you the $250,000. It'll bring you that, because that broker exists. You just can't see it because you can only see what it is that's going on in here. So if what's going on here is not good, you can't see the good. It doesn't allow that. It keeps you here. So once you want to see something else good, you have to start putting good in here, and it will turn your head to see what's been standing there the whole time. It's there. Creation's finished. It's there. You just can't see it because who you're being is like your brain is using information. That's the being. It's using information to keep like a film on a projector. That is what's playing on the screen in the movie theater. The screen isn't playing anything. It's only being played on by the film, and the film is being projected from what you're thinking. Your awareness is light. It is projecting onto your thoughts to put it onto life. So by telling yourself something, that good thing is there, by putting good in here now, it'll turn your head to see this thing that's been there the whole time.
Your brain is habitual. So is your body.
I'm sorry?
Your brain and your body are habitual.
Yes. Right? Yes.
It's 9:16.
Right? Okay. Muscle memory and stuff like that. Thought memory, thought stuff like that. All right. Anybody?
His clock. Well, thank you everyone for showing up. You guys may have gotten an email saying that September was the last month we'll be charging you guys. We are going back to the model that we had in the beginning. We did it for over 2 years where we had Saturdays for free. So feel free to invite everyone, anyone. Saturdays, friends and family are now every Saturday. You guys will not be charged anymore. You may have gotten emails that your subscriptions were canceled. That's why. Now we do still have the youth circle, and the youth circle, you guys will get more of this, more of the coaching. You get the one-on-one with Coach Lucky, plus the call that we do as a group as well. So, and that's an hour and a half that we do as a group. You get an hour with Coach Lucky, but we'll still get the Saturdays, and then the Saturdays again. Invite anyone, everyone that you think would enjoy this. We just Coach Lucky had the thought of wanting to go back to the model, so why not? Let's try it out and see how it goes. But I think that everyone here really enjoys it and gets the value of learning how to think in a different way, and keep doing it to them, Gavin. Keep doing it to them.
Yeah. So it's wonderful. Just gives a chance for more people to come in and be able to hear it. And if you want some extra help, then you can reach out on the website, and you can work in a small group we have, or you can work with me one-on-one. But otherwise, It's just here every Saturday for you to hear, for you to listen to as reminders, for you to listen to, remember who you are and act like. Very simple. And if you want extra help, I'm here for that. You can reach out for that on the side. Otherwise, we just have the Saturday classes. Everybody come one, come all, and it's a wonderful opportunity for everyone. So that's good, and that's all wonderful. So happy Saturday to everyone. Thank you all for coming. As always, good to see you all. Make sure you do your homework, right? Whatever area it is, left what you're thinking, right what you're going to start choosing to think. It doesn't matter. You could be crying if you turn the light on and electricity's on, it's coming on. So your feelings don't matter. All that stuff doesn't matter. As long as you turn the light on, as long as you keep telling yourself what you want to be true, you can say it in tears. You could say it with your legs swollen. You could say it with a headache. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Tell yourself what you want to be true, and you will find that it will prove itself. That's the law. Cry and turn the light on. Electricity working, you pay the bill, it's coming on. It doesn't matter. Your feelings and what you think, and that's not true. I can't see it. I don't know how I feel. None of that matters. Tell yourself what you want to be true, and that will be proven. That's the law, right? So happy Saturday. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you all next